What's up, guys? It's been a while. It's Ryan and Callan here.
Hey.
We are just going to introduce a project to you that kind of got leaked the last week or so. So I'm going to flip the camera around. I know we've been gone for a while, but it's been for good reason. We've got a bunch of pretty awesome content coming out soon. So hope you guys like this. This is Project Bonesaw. Alright, so let me explain. This is a project that we decided to take on, I guess, what, 4 or 5 months ago? It was right after Cruise Week.
Yep.
We put up that little teaser video, and we've pretty much been MIA since then. So why did we do this? We were looking around, we saw some pretty cool chassis designs that we liked, and we said, you know what, we can probably do something similar to that. So we drew it up in CAD. We made it all out of chromoly. It's all TIG welded. And we said, we have a motor, we got a drivetrain in a car that we could easily swap over, so let's pull that all apart. And
it's the first car we designed completely around a motor. We've been doing all this work with chassis before, and this is just, it was the next step. We had to do it.
Yeah. We had so many things we loved about the engine that was in the RX-8, i.e., if you're keen and you notice, it is that engine. We had things we loved about it, but it was just so impractical in that car because you could never work on it.
Couldn't change plugs. You couldn't do anything
without
spending a whole weekend on it.
It was so tight to work on anything. You couldn't, I mean, it just made it such a pain. So this car, we said, you know, clearly you can get to everything. I mean, there's, how many cars can you take out all the bell housing bolts, super easily from the top. I mean, the transmission comes out in minutes.
Any project is
all the plugs,
yeah. You're trying to get, remove or put something back on.
All the plugs super easy to get to. You can adjust all the suspension, without having to take the wheels off. It just made sense. And with some of the parts we were able to sell off the old NA setup, it pretty much funded most all of the turbo stuff. So why did we go turbo, and is the motor stock or, the same that it was coming out of the RX-8? No. We ended up pulling it all apart, and I will insert some photos right here. Of the whole build process when we were, building this thing up from the ground, basically all over again, just for the turbo setup. Now, you might ask, what's different about the motor other than just, strengthening some parts? Well, it's still high compression, and let me explain that one. So, this turbo setup, these are 80 millimeter turbos, which people hear that and they're like, oh my God, what are you trying to make, 6,000 horsepower or something stupid? No, they're 80 mil, but they're only T4 exhaust housings. So with this compression on this motor, which is 12-to-1, it's got a a turbo cam that's custom ground now from Lunati. It's a different cam than before, and all those things in culmination, these things should still spool up pretty well. And because they're 80 mil, it's not going to need 20 pounds of boost to make power. It's going to make a lot of power on really low boost and still be a fun car to drive even out of boost. So we went ahead and we, same AM Infinity as we were running before. We went ahead and we put in the 12 position switch from AM, so we'll be able to adjust on the fly whatever boost level we want. We now have a Turbo 400, which, we got rid of the Magnum, same deal, was able to pretty much sell that and, clean trade for this, which is a built unit from Jake's Performance Transmissions, and we got a converter from him. It's full reverse manual valve body, it's transbrake, all wired in, all works. Got the CD7 dash now. That was never in the old car. Calum's gonna flip it on right now. So we got the ARC panel.
Same switch.
Everything's all good to go. Project
Bone saw.
And there we go. Change to the different screens on there.
Everything you need.
There you go. And we have the intercooler tank ripping right now. See, we got that all filled through. Pulling through there. And that flows all the way up through the chassis underneath. Comes to these Y fittings up in here, and then through the air to waters right in the front of the car. So makes it pretty convenient, should cool really well, and flows a ton of liquid.
And at this point, we're pretty much, there's a lot more to it, but we're at the point where we're just gotta get a dynode, and then everything, of course, is gonna come back off, and we'll go get it powder coated, address some few minor little problems we've seen real quick, and then that's about it.
Yep.
It's almost there.
Yeah, we're gonna tune this thing on 93, just kind of a putzing around street tune, low boost, no timing in it, just be able to cruise. Yep. Still have the ethanol content sensor, so everything should be good to swap from full E to pump with any variation in between. So excited to try that out.
We're just waiting for some injectors right now.
Yeah,
That's our only issue.
Yeah, our main issue we were waiting on was just the ID 2000s that I had before. 7 of them were great. One of them was just stuck shut from sitting for 4 months of no use with ethanol in them. So
we learned our lesson. Don't let them sit.
Yeah, or if you let them sit, stick them with like Marvel Mystery Oil, or fill them with WD before you set them aside.
Yep.
But yeah, so just a quick overview of some things that we made on the car. The windshield is optic armor. We'll start from the top and work our way down. Windshield's optic armor. We cut that out of a piece of glass and made it all good to go. It's all like weather coated, so rain runs right off of it. You don't have to touch it. No wipers. We laser cut the windshield frame. It has these turnbuckles here, which you can extend and retract the height, and then the pivots here that we welded to the chassis. You can actually just fold it forward like a Willys Jeep.
Yep.
Kind of makes it cool, and and completely pull it off if you want to just cruise with nothing in your way. Yeah. So then the turbo manifold, we made obviously all the exhaust stuff except for the cheap. What company is this? Holly sells them. I don't remember the name of the actual thing. I'll have to look it up. I'll put it in the description. But yeah.
304.
Yep, they're stainless steel. I think it was like $150 or something for both headers. We just hacked off the flanges, welded our V-bands on a little further back. Got some Vibrant performance tubing from our friends over at Ferocious Motorsports, and basically just fabricated everything from there. The intercoolers are from CX Racing. Obviously have the Vibrant original Van Gen clamp and then the HD clamps. The turbos themselves are from VSracing. Like I said, they're the 80 mils. All right, so we're back.
So intercoolers.
Yes. So the intercoolers are from CX Racing. They're air to waters. Each of them is rated for 1,000 horsepower plus. So we just stuck 2 of them together because 2 turbos make sense. plus extra cooling. We made the catch can and overflow tank. It's a divided tank internally with 3 layers of laser cut baffling. It has a breather filter, scavenges both the exhaust gases and pressure out of the valve covers and the valley cover. Has the breather so it can expel any pressure that builds up. Being a turbo setup, you don't want to have that a sealed container anymore. And then obviously this is just a sealed tank for the radiator overflow. So other than that, with the motor, we did Morel Lifters just for a little bit better valve control at higher RPM, and the extra power, we figured it was a good insurance policy to upgrade those from the Chevy Performance ones we had before. We also did Trend pushrods. Now they're tool steel, still 3/8, but they're heavy wall now, and so those definitely should be no problem. We swapped on the MSD coils. We had an issue with them in the past, but that was user error, and they work fine. And I know firsthand they put out a lot of volts. Don't ask me how I know. So yeah, other than that, in the front,
same water pump. We went ahead and remade the lines. Fit a little better with the chassis.
Yeah, everything in here is basically the same, just a different alternator as well, just to fit a new bracket setup we went with.
Yep.
But other than that, the suspension, I don't think I had anything on that either. It's going to be hardish to turn, but there you go. So this suspension here we made all basically in-house on the laser, drew it all up, and it just allows for a little bit more steering angle than factory, as well as just a lot of adjustability. Everything's Heim joint adjustable, no bushings to wear out. It's all metal on metal, so really, really simple, clean setup, and we made the knuckles, everything for it. So this will all get powder coated. We're thinking like actually, I'll leave you in the dark on that one.
Surprise.
Yeah, surprise. So same wheel wood proportioning valve that we ran in the past. We just mounted out here, ran new lines. Everything's routed through the frame. Most all of our wiring is run through the frame as well. You can see like the headlights and everything come right out of the frame
all
there.
Goes through and then up into our little wiring trays.
Yeah, we have all this in here. It's
Just
not loomed yet. But yeah, everything's all relayed, fused, and the arc panel for the main switch obviously has everything completely separate as well. The 4-port boost console solenoids that we have right now all run through the frame. Everything's all weather pack connectors now, nothing's blade connectors or ghetto shit, so we're happy.
Because it's all coming apart in about a month.
Yeah, so like Callan's saying, we're gonna get this car tuned. We're gonna get some cool content of it actually just cruising down the road.
Gotta have some fun.
It's registered and insured right now, so right off the dyno, we're probably just gonna drive it home and yeah, just kind of see what it feels like. And then once we're satisfied that it's not gonna blow up and we got all the things welded onto the frame that we want welded and any ground, location drilled, then we'll say, all right, cool. We'll pull everything back out of the car, set it aside on a shelf, take a good 2 or 3 weeks, send everything to the powder coater, get the whole thing powder coated, all the subframes powder coated, suspension powder coated, get it all back and just reassemble. It literally takes us less than a weekend to have this entire car apart down to nothing, because we made everything as easily removable and modular as possible. So
Front subframe is 6 bolts, back I believe is 8.
Yep.
And we've had it out in, the whole subframes are a little more, an hour or so at the most, but
yeah,
that's it.
Yeah, I mean, that's getting the motor out, the suspension out, and then having the whole subframe dropped out as well. So
we got all the room in the world in the trans tunnel. Everything is just a breeze to get to, and that's kind of been the whole point of this car. Just finally something that doesn't take a whole weekend per project.
Yes. Yep, so we have a center console in the trans tunnel now. It all has documentation and stuff for when we're driving around. We want to put our phones in there, makes it easy. Self-latching, so you don't have to worry about stuff blowing open.
What's going there?
Yeah, so right here we have the mount that we made out of stainless steel for our iPad Pro, which we should have next week, and there will be a Powerbase XL 1200 soundbar underneath, so we'll be able to rock out to some 80s hair metal while we're going down the highway, screaming Van Halen, Panama on the highway.
Got our tray in the back for just some packing stuff.
Yeah, so
we fit our E85 containers.
yeah, they're
Like to run E85.
so we can bring extra gas with us, but
Fit 4 of those.
yep, it'll fit 4 extra jugs, and obviously we have our 20-gallon cell, which is kind of sweet. But we have everything wired up this time. It's not all, you know,
works.
it's not all kind of ghetto and sketchy like before. So we've got actual turn signals, left and right,
We got
reverse,
our hazards.
hazard lights. We'll go up to the front. Yeah, running lights. Going to hit the brake pedal too. There you go. Got brakes.
What were the lights?
7 and 8.
Yeah. Oh, I know, just the manufacturer.
Oh, sorry. They're shit. Who makes these?
I did.
I don't remember.
That
Yeah.
all works. Same with blinkers. Everything's functional.
There you go. Low beam, high beam, blinkers, hazards. So it's a real street car.
Yep.
But yeah, these are all billet aluminum. We just haven't loomed up every wire yet because everything has to come apart.
Yeah. When we're done, it'll all look like this. The
Yeah.
mil spec, you know, wiring at the end.
So don't give me that shit about this melting because this is metal. This is not plastic.
We thought about it.
And we've already started the car. Insert clip here.
More videos. It's gonna be fun.
Yeah, we're just excited to really see what this thing's made of. I mean, we've started it, we've put it in reverse and first basically, and driven it a couple feet in the shop, and it feels really, really fun. And you know, it's going to be a treat to take it down the actual business park and see what it feels like.
What's it weigh?
Right now, with everything in it,
Fully.
so this is fully loaded. Sad part about it is, yes, it does still have the iron block, and now it has the Turbo 400, and both of these turbos, well, each one of these turbos weighs 51 pounds, just the turbo. Then you got all the piping and then the water to air intercoolers and blah, blah, blah. So this whole setup, that all in mind, weighs 2,380 pounds with full gas, 20 gallons, with a full tank. That's a 7-gallon intercooler tank full of coolant right now. And the radiator's full.
7 gallons up in here.
Yep, bunch of coolant in the radiator too. So yeah, and the suspension stuff we added is, you know, that's all heavier than stock stuff, but it's a lot stronger. So that's a lot of stuff. But if you think about that, I mean, that's less than any Honda, that's less than any Miata, but it's gonna have, you know, a ridiculous amount of power. We don't want to say numbers yet that we know because we'd just be guessing. But it's gonna be good.
Plenty.
The cool thing is it should make a lot of power on very little boost.
Your springs here are 4 pounds, right?
Yeah, it's got 4.5 pound springs in the wastegates right now, so we're thinking it's going to be a good bit, because basically the motor, you know, with new stuff in it is going to be roughly the same NA output as it made before, which was damn near 600 to the wheels, plus 4.5 pounds of boost of wastegate on top of that. You can do the math with an 80mm turbo and figure out that's going to be pretty hefty. So yeah, we'll see what we can run up to. Basically, our only limiting factor right now is the fuel pump, which not many people can say that with an eliminator fuel pump, but
the nice thing is,
yeah.
we're
So,
gonna add the bunks for additional fuel pumps, so
yeah, so he'll show you this.
we'll add 2 more external. We just got them down here, so we'll add.
Yeah, we've got 2 bungs already welded through the floor into the pump, or into the tank, so we can add 2 pumps if we want, or have a dual feed into another huge pump.
If needed. Just do that external. We got all the room down in the world behind next to the trains.
Yeah, so transcoolers in the back. That's all completely remote mounted. Has -8 AN lines feeding it right from the trans itself. Oh yeah, we made the seats.
This is the mock template. This obviously isn't the real one.
Yes.
Be out of 1/4-inch aluminum, but we're just waiting for the actual wing now. But we figured
There you go.
this high, and
Let me
it's
get a
69
cooler view from the side. Yep, it's the new NRG wing, 69 inches wide, carbon fiber.
It's just a mock-up.
Yep, this was a template we cut to see if we liked the height and the positioning and shape.
I think it's gonna be good.
So should have that in the next day or so.
Yep.
What we were saying about, not many people can say that about an eliminator pump. People say, well, you got a single fuel pump and a turbo V8. Of course you're going to run out of gas. Well, this is 812, or I think it's 817 liters per hour. So if you think about people with their 1,000 horsepower Supras that have dual Walboro 450s, this is basically dual Walboro 450s in one pump. So running out of that is not, that's not a tall order. That is a tall order. But yeah, so right now we just went ahead and painted this windshield bracket the other day.
I was just so they can actually seat this.
Yeah, we actually put glue all in. It's got window weld in the little tray that it sits in.
And we've got weather stripping that'll sit in there nicely.
Yep, it has a nice clean piece of
It's
trim.
one with the car. It's not really.
Yeah, it's part of the chassis now, and we can tighten it, loosen it, move it. But
Small things. We have Lexan for the sides. Not a whole lot more.
that's basically it. We just wanted to hop on and give some kind of an update because it's been
a couple of months.
It's been a few months, and we want to start making videos again, even though small channels on YouTube pretty much just got porked by the new, or I guess the new rules that they have to be monetized. Not that we were really making any money before, it's just now you have to have a minimum requirement to get any kind of kickback. So
But we just like sharing the projects, and this one we kind of wanted to keep secret for a while, but
yes, we got posted on 1320, I guess it was Friday night?
yeah.
Friday night, yeah. So we're going to hopefully do a follow-up video with them at some point, and we'll be at Maryland International Raceway in November, I believe.
We'll be out of cruising, we'll be everywhere. Anywhere we can try to go, we'll be there.
So if you want to see the car, it'll be there. We'll be driving around, probably on the edge of death. Yeah, so the whole rolling chassis with nothing in it was like 1,100 pounds.
Yeah.
And that's, so
That was still subframes too, right?
that was, yeah, I mean, that was rolling.
Suspension, rolling.
That was rolling with everything, so.
That's pretty insane.
And we learned a few things on this one that we could lighten up in the future that didn't have to be as,
We don't need to go as
beefy.
thick.
Yeah, like the main chassis, all chromoly, is lightweight and thin. That's fine, but the floor bars, like all the square tubing before, that's all 1/8 inch on this. Like that's way overkill. I could go half that. It could be 060 and be plenty strong. So in the future, I could probably cut maybe 150 pounds off of the whole chassis weight just from that alone. Maybe not that much, but a decent bit. But yeah, we just wanted to hop on and show you some stuff. So yep, and all those that followed us for the Mustang build, what is the status of that right now, so you can update them?
Should be getting it back from paint, hopefully in a month or two. It's just been taking a while, but that's my fault because I did what I should not have done and said, take your time. We do a lot of paint work, but this case we had so many other projects going on, we kind of just wanted to push it out. So we have some friends up north in Pennsylvania who we've subbed it out to, and it's taken a little longer than we'd liked, but everything's ready to go when we get back. So
I don't think we'd picked up since we dropped, or I don't think we had any videos since we dropped the car off. So
it's been since August.
You guys saw like the last, I think we had 2 or 3 parts of the restoration series. So that's where it is. It's been getting painted. They're doing a little bit more body work to it, checking the quarters and stuff. And then when he gets it back, we have literally all of his parts underneath this cover over here ready to just bolt right back on. So this summer we'll have videos. We'll have a 66 Mustang with a nasty 347 ready to rip, ready to slam gears in the T5 that he's got built for that thing. And this guy will be right next to it. And there's also a new car on the channel, which we're not going to tell you yet, but insert a little teaser clip right here. Alright, so thanks for watching. We're glad we could get back on here and just kind of update things a little bit. But if you're interested, subscribe. Make sure you hit the like button on the video. It helps us out a lot, just getting more people to see, if it pops up in their suggestions and everything, to come watch a video and see if they like it. But we hope you enjoyed, and we will catch you next time.
See ya.
Peace.